Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into something that trips up so many entrepreneurs, sourcing products from China. Now, I know it can feel incredibly overwhelming, but we're going to lay out a clear playbook that can turn all that anxiety into a massive competitive advantage. So let's get right into it.
But first, let's start with a bit of a cautionary tale. This is what happened to an Australian entrepreneur named Isabella Chen. She spent a year and a half, 18 months, perfecting her product only to see knockoffs flooding the market before she could even launch. Her dream was literally stolen right out from under her, all because she didn't have the right protections in place.
Look, Isabella's story's way too common, but I'm here to tell you, it absolutely does not have to be yours. If you follow a clear, methodical process, you can build a supply chain that's not just reliable, but secure. So let's break down exactly how you do that step by step.
All right, your journey starts with knowing where to even look. Honestly, finding the right partner is probably the most critical step of this whole thing, but the good news is you've got a lot of options.
You can, of course, start on those huge online marketplaces like Alibaba, but a word to the wise, their gold supplier badge can just mean they paid a hefty fee, not that there's the best. For a more hands-on approach, you could visit a massive trade show like the Canton Fair. Or you can hire a professional sourcing agent to be your expert on the ground, handling all the tricky communication and negotiations for you. So, once you have a short list of potential suppliers, it is time to put on your detective hat. The next crucial step is figuring out who you are really talking to. And this, right here, is where a lot of people make their very first mistake.
This is the big question. Are you talking directly to the people who are actually going to make your product? Or are you talking to a trading company that's just a go-between? The answer changes everything: your costs, your control over quality, your communication. So how in the world do you tell the difference?
So, how do you spot them? Well, a few simple clues can tell you everything you need to know. A real factory is going to be super specialized. They make one type of thing. A trading company, on the other hand, will have this huge, diverse catalog. Check their address. Is it in an industrial park or some slick office building downtown? And look at their quality certificates. A factory will be listed as the owner. These little details tell the real story.
Okay, so you found a factory that looks legit. Great. But don't get ahead of yourself. Now it's time to build a rock-solid foundation for your business relationship. This means locking down your legal protections and making sure your communication is crystal clear.
You know, this quote I saw on Reddit just nails a huge frustration. You find a quality problem, you report it, and you get back this polite, vague, yes, sure, we will fix it, and then nothing changes. This is exactly what happens when communication is fuzzy and your expectations aren't locked down in a contract. So let's fix that.
First things first, get off email. Seriously. Video calls build real rapport and cut down on misunderstandings. Second, be visual. One entrepreneur I read about sends a simple PowerPoint, just a photo with an arrow, to show exactly where a sticker should go. It seems almost too basic, but it eliminates errors. And finally, you have to invest in the relationship, what's known as guanxi. A supplier who sees you as a real partner is going to work a heck of a lot harder to solve problems for you. All right, let's talk about a hard truth when it comes to your intellectual property. Your patent from back home, it's pretty much worthless in China. Why? Because China operates on a first-to-file system. It means whoever registers a trademark or a patent there first owns it. It doesn't matter who the original inventor was. This is a critical point that trips up so many entrepreneurs.
So you have to build a legal shield, and every piece of it matters. Your contract has to be written specifically for Chinese courts. It needs an NDA with real teeth, and by that I mean specific monetary penalties for breaking it. You have to explicitly state that you own all the IP, even little improvements they might make. And finally, you need audit rights, which gives you the power to walk into their facility and check for yourself. With your partner and your contract locked in, you've built a strong foundation. But now comes the really important part: execution. You have to make sure the product that gets made is the exact product you designed. This is where mastering quality control becomes everything. For about $250 a day, you can hire an independent third-party inspector to be your eyes inside that factory. For any serious importer, this is absolutely non-negotiable. Think of it as a small insurance policy that can save you from getting a shipping container full of defective products. The moment a factory knows an inspector is coming, you'd be amazed how quickly quality improves.
And look, Quality control isn't just some final check you do at the very end. True QC is a process. It starts by inspecting the raw materials before production even begins. It means checking the first few items that come off the assembly line to catch problems early. And then it means doing that final inspection before anything gets packed and sealed for shipping.
A good inspection report is your ultimate decision-making tool. It won't just tell you something is wrong. It'll show you. You'll get photos, test results, and a clear breakdown of every single defect. This detailed evidence gives you the undeniable leverage you need to approve or reject that shipment before it's already halfway across the ocean.
Your product has passed inspection. Congratulations! Now for the final leg of the journey, getting it across the ocean and into your warehouse, all while making sure your payments are secure every step of the way.
So basically, you've got two main ways to get your stuff across the ocean. Air freight is super fast, maybe a week or two, but it's really expensive. It's best for small, high-value stuff or if you're in a huge rush. Sea freight is the workhorse of global trade. It's way slower, think a month or more, but it's so much cheaper, which makes it the go-to for pretty much all bulk goods.
Now, you're going to see this acronym everywhere, FOB. It stands for Free On Board, and it's the most common arrangement. All it means is that the seller is responsible for getting your products loaded onto the ship at their port. The second those goods cross the ship's rail, the responsibility and the cost for insurance and transport transfers over to you. Simple as that.
Of course, none of this matters if your money isn't secure. The #1 rule is simple. Never, ever pay 100% upfront. A standard deal is a deposit to get started, with the final payment due only after the goods have passed inspection. And seriously, for any big order, do not just wire the money. Use a platform like Alibaba's Trade Assurance. It's a lifesaver. It holds your money in escrow until you confirm the order is exactly what you paid for.
You see, when you boil it all down, all of these steps, the vetting, the contracts, the communication, they all point to one single powerful idea. The most successful importers don't treat their suppliers like just another vendor. They build a true partnership based on clear expectations, mutual respect, and a shared goal of long-term success.
When you follow this playbook, you're not just buying a product, you're building a resilient, transparent, and profitable supply chain. It stops being a source of constant anxiety and instead becomes one of your company's greatest assets. So the question is your supply chain a liability or is it your secret weapon? The choice is yours.